Ladies and gentlemen, the first topic of tonight is going to be about RuneScape. Now, I saw a lot of you guys in the chat talking about the fact of, is this game even still around? Yes. Yes, it is. RuneScape is still around. It's been around for a long, long time. But I find this to be extremely sus, right? And the only reason why I find this to be sus is because it's ironic that two old games, the first one, Terraria, 13-year-old game, and now RuneScape, I don't know how old this game is, I forgot, but it's fucking old. These two games decided to come out with the same exact update back to back. It just seems ultra sus to me. It seems like it could be ESG related or something along those lines, where perhaps Vanguard, BlackRock, companies like that, maybe they invested in some gaming studios recently and they put out some new guidelines for these studios to follow. Because it's weird that they all decided to do the same thing at the exact same time. But regardless, old school RuneScape is removing gender selection in the character creator and is adding pronouns to the game. Now, here's the funny thing about this, okay? Let me scroll down and get to the actual part here. So it says, in the update notes, he detailed in the updated makeover interface, players may now choose between body type A and body type B, offering the freedom to pick either body type without the restriction of gender labels. Now, there's one major fuck up in this statement, okay, from the developers, and I'm going to point it out in a couple minutes, so just give me a second. But yes, they removed male and female, and they added body type A and body type B, which is exactly what Terraria did. Now, they went one step further, and they decided to add pronouns. So it says to give you even more room for self-expression, which, by the way, I don't know of anybody that is playing RuneScape to have self-expression, but that's besides the point. You can now choose a preferred pronoun for your player character from the following options. And again, what do you expect the pronouns are, right? You expect the pronouns to be the lazy activist version of the pronouns, right? It's always the same 3 sets of pronouns. It is never anything else. They don't do Zer, Zim, Fey Fair, Fey Self, Frog Self. They don't do none of that shit, right? If you're going to be an activist, if you're going to make a change like this that is politically and activist based, then you need to go all in. I don't want you to half-ass it, okay? Don't give me the typical boring activist lazy version of pronouns, which is he, him, she, her, they, them. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. I want them all. I want every single neo pronoun that exists in this fucking world. And if you don't do it, then I'm going to assume you are bigoted. Because the fact that you're trying to do this and say we want people to have a better representation of themselves, well, what about all the other people that have Zer pronouns? What about the people that have neo pronouns? Do they not matter? See, this is the problem. When you start virtue signaling, you need to go all the way with it. Because if you don't go all the way with it, then it's never going to be enough. Which, by the way, even if you go all the way, it's still never going to be enough, but that's besides the point. You need to go all the way. I need some Zers. I need some Zims. I need everything. Otherwise, how are people going to see themselves? You've already made this statement. You've made this decision. So now it's time to follow through with it. But it gets even better. So the developer did not stop there. It also added that all facial hairstyles can now be used with both body types. So that means that if you want a Fear the Beardo style beard on a chick, you can now have it. Congratulations. You can see yourself, all trans women who have a hard time getting rid of their natural beard. Congratulations. Good job. Good job. Now, here's where this gets interesting, okay? Because I gotta call this out. I gotta show the hypocrisy. To give you even more room for self-expression, you can now choose a preferred pronoun for your player character from the following options: he, him, she, her, or they, them. You can also continue without selecting a pronoun if that's what you prefer. Okay, so let's stop right there really quick. So you're going to have people try to tell you and gaslight you in Twitter. They're going to be like, well, it's not forced on you. It's not forced on you. It's not a big deal. What's the big deal? It's not forced on you. They said it's optional. Okay. So let's see what it says afterwards. The game will use the default based on body type, similar to how it has always been. Aha. Aha. Caught you in some bullshit.
Shit.
So, two things. Number one, you are forcing it because you're forcing people to have pronouns as titles, even if they don't want it. You're forcing it. So if they choose not to have it, they still have to take it regardless. So it's not optional. It is forced. That's number one. But here's the kicker. I have a question for all the wokies out there, okay? I have a little bit of a question. So let me get this straight. This might mindfuck some people. Let me get this straight. You took away male and female, and you made it body type A and B because you didn't want to be restricted to the typical gender roles, right? You didn't want to be restricted to the typical gender roles. Okay. So you remove that. However, you just admitted in the final sentence there that the game will use a default based on body type, similar to how it's always been. So you mean to tell me that essentially you are going to have body type A be he, him, and body type B be she, her. So essentially, you removed gendered language just to add it back in through pronouns by default if people don't pick their own pronouns. So you're admitting that body type A is he, him, and body type B is she, her. Is that what we're admitting now? So I'm confused because you just said that you cannot have gendered language. So that's the whole reason why you removed male and female in the first place. So why would you default he, him to body type A? Why would you default she, her to body type B? Am I crazy? So doesn't that by default make body type A male, which is what it always was in the first place? So you mean to tell me that everything you're doing right now is simply for a virtue signal and that's it? Because you just went back to the exact thing that you removed in the first place with the pronoun stuff. So then what's some wokies going to tell me? Okay, so the wokies are going to say, well, not all people who are he, hims identify as male. Really? Is that where we're going now? Is that the stretch that we're going for now? Yeah, not all males are going to identify as he, him. Well, you told me it was fluid. So what if they end up changing in like a day or two? So you can't change your pronouns? What if you wanted to be a he, she? You can't be a he, she?